And then Lorraine told me like she knows how obsessed I am with Kim Kardashian. So she said like, I'll introduce you guys, which again, every single thing that like people have been telling me, I'm just not expecting it to actually happen.
You are listening to The Clear Cut Podcast. I'm your host, Olivia Landau, founder of The Clear Cut. Hey everyone, and welcome to The Clear Cut Podcast. We are so excited to have Julia Chafe, gemstone dealer and content creator, here with us today, also known as Jules with Jules. You might see her content on TikTok and Instagram talking about beautiful jewelry on celebrities and around the world. Thanks for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I can't believe we waited so long to have you on the podcast, but I'm really excited about this timing because you just came back from a lot of fun travels, so I think it's kind of perfect.
It's very good timing. I have a lot to say.
Amazing. But first and foremost, I kind of want to dig into a little bit of your background for those who don't know too much about you. Like, how did you get into the jewelry industry? How did you get your foot into it for content creating? Give us a little background.
Sure. So I started in the jewelry industry. It's been 3 years now. I joined my family business. When I was younger, I never once joined because it's like my dad and his 3 brothers. And my dad is like such a nerd that he could never do something that would be cool and fun. So I didn't want to join. And then during COVID, it hit me that I was just being stupid and I should join my family business. My family business, we're gemstone wholesalers. We wholesale rubies, sapphires, and emeralds. It's called Intercolor USA. It's my dad and his 3 brothers, and now me and some of my cousins.
Wow, fun. So you're keeping it all in the family.
All in the fam.
So you're happy with the decision to go into your family business?
I would have been so stupid not to go into my family business. I never realized like my dad could do something that's really cool, meeting cool people around the world, traveling around the world. And also like I never realized how beautiful gemstones are because like my dad is just like so uncool that how could gems be cool? But he was right, they're really cool.
So what's your favorite part about working with gemstones?
There's so much I could say. I think my favorite part about working in jewelry in general is the people in the industry, because the jewelry industry is so heavily based off of like trust. The people who you meet are trustworthy and kind for the most part. Otherwise, they usually cannot last in this industry. So it's just like filled with the most amazing people. And also there's no like mega conglomerate. So it's mostly family businesses. So it's so many people who have similar, like working with their dad problems that I do. Not that I have problems. Sorry, Dad. Love you. But
what's your like favorite and least favorite thing about working like with your dad and your family members?
So my favorite thing about working with my family is just the fact that I get to work with my family. I'm so comfortable with them. The literal perks of the job, like being a content creator and working for my family business, my dad understands that I have to come in late sometimes, or like today I have to leave early. And thankfully, like I ain't getting fired for that. But which I couldn't get away with what I do not working with my family. The toughest part about working with my family is literally working with my family. You have to be very respectful of one another. It's not, I don't want to use the words that it's walking on eggshells, because it's literally not at all, because we're so close with each other and we're able to express how we feel with one another. But you have to be extraordinarily respectful, because these are relationships that are the most valuable and the most important in the world. So you have to treat them like that.
That makes sense. And I think it's kind of similar like working with like my
husband
too.
Yeah.
So, but people always ask me about that and like find it interesting. But I think like if you kind of have your position, you know what you have to do and like what they do, and they respect each other. So, but going to content creating, like I think like now you're probably one of the biggest like jewelry content creators online, which like is amazing and insane. How did you start making jewelry content? Like what was like the first like dip in the pool?
Sure. So I started making my first TikTok post ever was October 1st, 2021. So it's like almost 3 years now. I never planned on doing this. Basically what happened is I was looking for someone like the very amazing and talented Diamonds Girl and Champagne Gem to promote my family business on TikTok. And there was no one talking about jewelry on TikTok. And then my husband, Bruno, who like keeps pushing me to my absolute limit, kept pushing and saying like, you should just be that girl. You talk too much. Like just talk to yourself in your bedroom and like talk about jewelry. And I really didn't want to do it. That's literally so embarrassing. And then he pushed and pushed and pushed. And every single day, like we would commute to and from work together. And he literally wouldn't shut up until the point that I was like, all right, I'll make one stupid video. Then I made one. I think my first video, like ironically, was me lying, which is like,
What
so
did you lie about?
I think my first video. Okay, so you know the song "Mama Said That It Was Okay."
Yeah.
Okay, so it was to that song on TikTok, and it was like colored stone engagement rings aren't cool, and it was me using like the ring my dad gave me for my wedding. It was a sapphire ring, putting it on my engagement finger, and then being like, "Mama said that it was okay." It's like Princess Diana, like Gwyneth Paltrow, all those things. But I literally have a natural diamond engagement ring. I do not have a sapphire engagement ring. Like I wanted a sapphire engagement ring. Bruno said no because like he loves natural diamonds, as do I, and I'm happy I made the decision. But I lied on my first post.
It's not lying. It's just you were like curating the post.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, it's okay to have a gemstone engagement ring.
Well, we have an expecting mama right here, and mama said that it was okay.
Yeah.
So.
And hopefully his birthstone's gonna be sapphire.
Oh, that. Actually, you're right. His birthstone will be sapphire.
If it doesn't come too early.
If he doesn't come too early, yeah.
So no, I don't think you were lying. That's totally fine. So that was your first video, and then after that, like, what made you motivated to keep going?
So then that video didn't slay necessarily, but then that week I made another video. My videos used to be just like music playing, and then it would be like celebrities with ruby engagement rings, and then I'd go like this. And it would be a green screen of different celebrities behind me. And I made one about Princess Diana's engagement ring. Like, I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was telling the story of her ring, but the whole time
Pointing
like that,
at the green screen,
pointing. And that one got like 10,000 views. And I was like, oh shit. Like I literally was walking through the streets of New York City. Like, oh my God, like everyone's going to know who I am. Like, this is crazy. I'm so embarrassed. Like everyone's going to follow me around. Like I'm in danger. And then from there, I was like, all right, maybe this could turn into something. Mm-hmm. And then I started posting. Everyone keeps saying the magic numbers like 3 times a day. So I started posting like minimum 3 times a day. And slowly I grew.
Amazing. When did you know that this was like something that it was like a thing and not just like your fun pastime or hobby?
That's a very good question. I don't have the answer to when I knew that this was going to be not just a hobby. Mm-hmm. I think when I started the page, it was the intention of it not just being a hobby. Mm-hmm. So everyone says like, oh, it happened by accident. And like, yes, it did happen semi by accident, but I definitely did go in with the intention of like, this could be something that could change my life. And
you were like motivated and dedicated to like posting and creating. Yeah. So, I mean, everyone says like jewelry is so niche. Like, how can you constantly come up with like new concepts and keep it fresh and interesting? Like, do you have any like tips around that? Because it seems like you're always able to find something to talk about, but do you ever like feel like you're running out of things?
I'm currently in a space that I'm like, oh, I ran out of things to talk about. I don't know what to say anymore because I think I've said too much over the last like couple of weeks.
Just take a break, baby.
Yeah, it's okay sometimes to take a break. But yeah, I always feel like I'm running out of things. And then other times I feel like I have way too much to talk about and I can't get to all of it. So I think things like it just ebbs and flows like any other content creator making lifestyle content. Ebbs and flows, and then you get things like awards shows that make it a lot easier to talk about a lot more. And specifically on my page, I do a lot of celebrity content. And even though no one talks about it, Juliana Rancic doesn't talk about it. Celebs do be loving their jewelry, and it's just not really as spoken about as their fashion.
And I always thought that was like a big problem. Like on the red carpets, everyone talks about like their dresses, but they're wearing like millions of dollars of jewelry, and no one even like pays attention.
Yeah, they don't even ask what's your jewelry. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is nuts.
It's crazy.
But going back to your celebrity content, like, what I think is cool that you've done is you've kind of opened up a whole new world of celebrity jewelry content beyond like US celebrities. Mm-hmm. So you talk a lot about celebrities like all over the world, including like India, and I feel like I didn't even know about these people, and now they're household names because you introduced them to me. So how did you do the research or figure it out? Like,
okay, so specifically, when we're talking about like the Ambani family,
yeah,
I want to say I started talking about them like maybe a year and a half ago, something like that.
It was like the first time I ever heard their name it was from you, and now I like can't escape it.
So they specifically, I hadn't heard their names either, which like now seems crazy. Indian people, their passion for jewelry is as fiery as ours. Mm-hmm. It's like very much a big part of their culture. Yeah. And I used to get like tens of DMs from different Indian people around the world being like, why don't you talk about this family? And kind of just ignored them for a while. And then like they just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. And I was like, you know what? Let me look into this family. Like I opened a can of worms.
Yeah.
Like I'm speechless to say the least about their jewelry. And the more I research them, it's just crazy. It's just like endless jewelry, massive pieces, highest quality, and they own everything. It's nothing is borrowed.
When all these celebrities here on the red carpets are just borrowing everything.
So naturally I became obsessed with them. When I made my first video about them, I didn't really know much about them. I was kind of just going off of what someone told me about them in my DM. My first video about them ended up being like a completely fabricated story, but I think it got like 40 million views or something. God. And from that, I was like, oh, okay, like people care about this.
Yeah.
And then I started doing more content, and those all ended up being my highest viewed posts, like by far. It was like 40 million, like 30 million, 10 million, 9 million, like that. And I was like, all right,
there are people out there that care about this.
Yes, there's tons of people, and I'm the stupid one, and I'm the only one who didn't know about them before, and everyone else cares and knows.
Yeah.
And then I started making more content about them, and then obviously now I just came back from their wedding.
Which is literally the craziest thing ever. When I saw that you were going there, I was like, oh my God, her dreams are coming true.
My dreams are coming true.
Wait, so we got to talk all about this wedding. So this was like the wedding of the century. It was covered everywhere. Like every single celebrity was there, including you. So tell me every detail. Who reached out to you? How did you get there? The jewels, the outfits, everything.
Okay. So I got invited as my friend Ori's +1. Ori is like a big socialite in India. I actually met him via Instagram, which is crazy. And we ended up meeting a few times in New York. We became really close friends. And last time I was with him, he was like, so do you want to go? And I was like,
how long ago was that?
Maybe March.
You were keeping this to yourself?
No. I didn't believe him. I thought he was just like saying that. I was like, haha, hee hee, you're so cute, Ori. Then I got the invite maybe a month and a half before I left. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was spam. And then I sent it to Ori. He's like, well, I told you. And I was like, oh, well, this is too crazy. And then like everything.
And Bruno got to go too.
But Ori bought +2. So.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
It was just crazy. And then I didn't believe it was real. First of all, like I didn't want to talk about it because like I feel like, I don't know, I'm like Persian and superstitious.
Yeah.
I want to, when you put things into the air, you don't want to jinx it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't talk about it until I was going on the plane, or until Olympic Air lost my luggage. And once they lost my luggage, I was like, whatever, it's too late. I'm going. Like nothing can happen at this point. And then I started talking about it. And yeah, it was the craziest thing ever. I don't even know like where to start.
So you went as a guest, not like as a correspondent or anything like that? No,
I went as a guest. Like,
how many people were at that wedding?
I don't know the actual numbers, but I heard that it was 2,000 first night, 3,000 second night, and 10,000 the third night. That's what I heard. Is that true? I have absolutely no idea.
And you went all 3 nights?
I went all 3 nights, yeah.
So you got to go as your friend +2 to India, and I saw you wearing all of these amazing jewels and these crazy outfits. Like, how did you like plan for that? Like shop for that? Did you get stylists? Like, how did that work?
So the number one thing I learned in India, it's this concept called jugaad, which means like you figure it out. So like in the end, the problem you'll solve it. You'll figure it out. And all of my clothes and every single part of my entire trip was basically like jugaad vibes.
Okay.
Like my outfits, like for example, my first outfit, I went for the fitting like 4 hours before the party was starting.
So you didn't have any outfits when you like all got on the plane to get there.
When I landed on Indian soil, I had 0 outfits.
Okay. But you knew you were going to meet someone to give you outfits.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, when I got invited, I have a friend named Hema, who's like a fashion house brand architect. Like, I don't even know how to describe her, but she works with a lot of like major, amazing brands. And I asked her, like, can you do me a favor and help me get dressed for these events? Cause like, I don't know what to wear. I feel like an Amazon sari ain't gonna cut it.
No.
And then she was like so nice and so generous and offered to help me get dressed for any of the events I wanted. Then another extremely generous person, Lorraine Schwartz.
How crazy is that?
Crazy. Like my idol. And I can just call her Lorraine now. You know, it's crazy. But Lorraine reached out to me. Well, when I told her I was invited, she told me, like, I'm going to put you in contact with Manish. Manish is Manish Malhotra. I want to say he's like the equivalent of like Chanel in India. Like, it's the craziest designer. And I was like, all right, like also thinking that's too crazy. And if she doesn't do it, it's like literally fine. That's like, she does so much for me. Like, this is too much extra. But then she put me in contact with him. She said, he'll dress you for all 3 nights. He told me, like, she asked him, he said, yeah. And then I asked, or no, I might be mixing up the story, but she asked him, like, would you be interested? And he was down. And then I called him directly, not like, I realized how big of a deal it was that I was calling him directly, but I didn't realize how much work he had to do. He was also, I don't know if wedding planner is the right word, but he was also putting together the entire wedding on top of dressing like the whole family.
Oh, wow.
And like, I think like over 100 people too.
Yeah.
So like, and then when I called him, he acted as if like I was the only call of the day,
Wow.
you know, like was so nice to me. He offered to dress us. He dressed Bruno all 3 nights, and he dressed me the first night and the last night, which I was so grateful for. And then Hema dressed me in another major Indian fashion house brand called Abu Sandeep, which is like basically, again, like the Chanel of India, which is so crazy. I don't wear the Chanel of the US when I'm in the US, so I got spoiled.
Oh my God. And then you borrowed jewels from Lorraine Schwartz.
So then I borrowed jewels. The first night, Manish has a high jewelry line. I borrowed jewels from Manish. The second night, I was working with Natural Diamond Council India, and I borrowed jewels from 2 brands that work with NDC in India. Sajante and Anmol were the names of the brands. Mm-hmm. They were both really beautiful. And then the third night, I'm friends with, I guess, Renu herself and a girl who works with Renu. Renu Oberoi was the name of the jewelry brand, and I wore them the third night.
Wow.
And them I asked before because, like, I'm friends with her. So I was like, can I please just borrow something?
They were insane outfits and insane jewelry. So I was like, how did this come together?
Insane. It barely, like, it came together, like, within the last 2 minutes, you know?
I would be stressing out so much.
I was stressing out. And then, like, when I arrived, I was like, how am I going to function? And then by the last day, I was like, God, like, who cares? Like, my jewelry for the last party, I think, like, it came to my hotel room, like, as we were leaving or something, or maybe the second, whatever. One of the nights I got my jewelry as we were walking out the door, like, no time for pics, you know?
Oh my God. And okay, so you and Bruno looked like celebrities. You just blended right in, but there were so many big celebrities there.
It's crazy.
You literally got to interview and talk to like Kim Kardashian and Priyanka Chopra. So tell me like what the highlights of like the wedding were and like the people that you met.
I have so many highlights. Okay.
Yes.
Kim Kardashian's obviously a highlight. I'm obsessed with her. I'm a Kim Kardashian defender till I die.
And I was like, oh my God, she looks that good. Like, actually.
She looks that good, actually.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was like probably the craziest part is that she looks that good, actually. Yeah. And in person, like she was so petite because you know her vibe is so larger than life.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was like shorter than me and like very, very, very petite. Mm-hmm. Like it was so not what I was expecting of her because she's so like larger than life. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what I was expecting, but like I was like, whoa, she looks like a petite human. Like in my head, well, I don't even know what I was expecting, but like in my head, she's Kim Kardashian. Like she's literally like, she's like God, you know, like she's like around us. Uh-huh.
So what was like the best part about meeting her? Was it like, were you starstruck?
I was starstruck. The craziest part about meeting her was like the way I met her, which was literally Lorraine grabbing my hand, pulling me in, and saying, "Kim, you have to meet Julia." That was crazy.
Did you tell her that you wanted to meet her?
I told her. Well, once they landed, I knew that Kim was going with Lorraine.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lorraine told me like she knows how obsessed I am with Kim Kardashian. So she said like, I'll introduce you guys, which again, every single thing that like people have been telling me, I'm just not expecting it to actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my expectations of people are too low, but like
manifesting it.
Yeah, I was like, she's like, oh, I'm going to introduce you. I was like, it's literally fine. Like, like I just being in the same room as her is enough. Like, I'm not like you don't have to do that much for me. But then she did it. And like, she did it in a way that like my own family member would do it. Like that's my aunt would grab my hand like that and pull me in, you know? It was crazy.
And didn't she say that she like followed some of your stuff?
Oh yeah, she told me she quote unquote totally watches all my stuff. Which is crazy.
That's crazy.
That was actually crazy. I blacked out. And yeah, I don't even know what else to say because I blacked out. And then I confronted her. She wears a pinky ring, a pear-shaped pinky ring from Lorraine. I don't know how big it is. If I had to guess, I would say somewhere around like 6, 7, 8 carats, something like that. Extremely beautiful. And I confronted her about, is the pinky ring that you've been re-wearing the same one? And she told me yes. So I got something right.
Yeah, great. Confirmed.
Score 1 for Julia because I get it wrong so often.
Oh, whatever. Does she own that pinky ring?
I didn't ask
that's like
explicitly do you own it, but the vibe that I got was that she owned it.
Yeah. And then you interviewed Priyanka Chopra, right?
So meeting Priyanka shook me more than Kim. I think because I met Priyanka within like the first 2 hours of arriving at the party. God. So like I was already unwell from looking around. Like that was me like the first full 2 hours. And then meeting Priyanka and then Priyanka telling me that she knows me was like, it's overload. I could not handle it. My mom told me I was rude to her, which like is still haunting me.
Oh, is that what everyone was mad at you about?
Yeah.
Why?
Basically, like
I know you were caught in some drama.
I got caught in random drama, but like I wasn't thinking. Like it's just too much going on around me. I was just like so overwhelmed. And
what
then,
happened?
Basically, like I approached Priyanka and she was like, "Oh, I know you," and then I was like, stop that. Like, I can't handle that. And then she was like, why? And then I was like, and Nick, you waved at me at your concert in 2006. Like just trying to deflect. Cause like that, it was overload. Like my brain, I'm telling you, it was black in front of my eyes. I was like, I'm going to pass away. Like this, I can't let her continue. And then like, everyone's like, oh, you shut down Priyanka Chopra. I didn't mean to. It was my body's visceral reaction.
I feel like Priyanka Chopra is very nice and understanding, and I don't think she was probably mad at you or thought you were rude.
I also don't think that she has given it a second thought. She has other things to worry about.
Stressing about it, and she's like, whatever.
She's like, who?
Yeah. But that's really awesome.
It was very cool.
What are some other highlights from the wedding that you can share? Like any behind the scenes things?
Yes. So I met Mrs. Nita Ambani. That might have been the greatest highlight, even beyond like Kim
She's
and
like
Priyanka.
the mother.
Yes, she's the mother. She's like just radiates queen energy. She's just like so elegant. And I don't know if it's true, I heard she used to be a dancer. So like even the way she carries her hands is so elegant. And she's so regal and she speaks so highly of women. And like she's like listening to her she's amazing. And when I met her, she held my hand for like our entire conversation, looked me deep in my eyes, like wasn't looking around. Like, if I was Mrs. Nita Ambani and I had to meet Julia Chafe, like I do be looking around to like get the hell out of this conversation. But she was not looking around. Like she's like locked in. Mm-hmm. And she was just so nice to me and made me feel so comfortable and kept over and over again, kept saying like how grateful she is that we traveled all the way here to celebrate her son's wedding. I was like,
I'll do it like 5 more times.
Yeah, if you need me to do it 25 more times in the next 7 days, like I'll do it. But she was just so nice and so regal and like so glamorous and beautiful. And like her energy was just something I've never experienced before. It's just incomparable to anyone I've ever met. And also they know I love their jewelry. So I met Isha, which is the sister of the groom. And I asked Isha about her necklace and stuff. Her necklace was so beautiful. It was 9 stones, like natural diamond,
It had
emerald,
gemstones, right? Yeah.
all gemstones. It was so beautiful. And then Mrs. Nita actually told me, she's like, oh, Julia, it took us 3 years to find all the stones in this necklace. I was like, oh, you know exactly what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, I just like that she gave me that tidbit of information.
No,
It made me feel so special.
What were some of the other like really impressive pieces of jewelry that you saw?
I could say so many things about the Ambani family themselves. Their jewelry was out of this world. But I also want to highlight the guests because I have never been to a wedding. I've never even seen like on the Oscars red carpet, anything similar to this before. Every single guest was wearing like a piece that should be in Sotheby's.
I know. I like looking at all your content. I was like, where did this even come from? Like, I've never seen this before.
I don't even know.
Even like Kim's like emerald necklace. I'm like, I've never seen these big emeralds that match like this.
And there was like a finite amount of these stones in the
world.
world. And what, they're all on her necklace?
I was like,
it's
what
crazy.
is the insurance policy at this wedding? Like,
honestly, that was one of my questions too.
yeah. But yeah, that was like one of like the craziest things. Like, how does each person have like a $15 million necklace on? And
the craziest part was that I would see obviously the same people every night, and every night they had like another $15 million necklace on. And these are just like, this is not Kim Kardashian. These are just like normal people.
Yeah.
Like just humans. And every single night, their jewelry is like something beyond my wildest dreams. And they also wear jewelry in different ways than us. So they wear, obviously, a lot of people wear the mangtika, which is like the headpiece. It's so beautiful. And then they also, some people were wearing like in their ponytail, they would have like diamonds going down. Insane. Like a big long, everyone looked so beautiful.
And I saw a lot of those nose rings that attach to like the ear.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
So they wear, it's not even like they wore the craziest necklaces, which they did. They wore the craziest necklace and then like found different ways than we're used to wear more gigantic, insane jewelry. And by the way, their jewelry is not a joke. It's very heavy. And it's like, it's painful. Like the earrings, traditional Indian earrings have 22 karat gold. For some reason, that makes the posts very thick. So I couldn't fit them in my ear. My first night, I wasn't wearing earrings. When I spoke to my new Indian friends at this party, like how crazy is that wouldn't fit in my piercing? Their response was all like, oh, you didn't just like shove it in and deal with the blood. I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Beauty is pain.
Beauty is pain. Yeah, I was like, I love jewelry, but like, I also love my ears to not bleed.
Oh my God.
So they love jewelry like on a different level. Yeah, they're willing to go through everything for it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what we think is like impressive here on the red carpet is like...
It's literally like peanuts.
Yeah. Which is insane. Any other like behind the scenes, like what was like the party, like the food, the music, like anything that we like don't know as like common people watching that you can tell us?
Okay, so probably the craziest part. Oh yeah, let me just talk about my favorite food I ate there because I haven't stopped thinking about it. They had a high tea after their first ceremony on the first day, and this high tea had, I don't know where it came from because a lot of their booths had like famous restaurants around the world.
Their booths?
Like they're like stations.
Okay, so they'd like different stations. Yeah.
And it was like French station, like North Indian station, like Gujarat station, like that. But this station was French and they had like cheese wheels and stuff. But then they had a section that they were making fresh waffles. And then on the fresh waffle, they would put like burrata, like leaky, beautiful burrata. And then they had pesto drizzle on top. That was like one of the best things I've ever had in my life. It was so good. I had like 4.
I would want to sample every station.
I ate like a pig. Like there's no other way to describe how I ate. I was disgusting. And especially being like basically half naked the whole time, the way I ate really it was not chill. My entire, like I was just free and like I was also eating so freely.
Did Bruno have a great time?
Bruno had a better time than I had, and I had the best time of my life. So
what was his favorite part?
Oh my gosh, what was his favorite part? It's just too hard of a question to answer.
I saw him with photos with John Cena and like random people.
Believe it or not, Bruno is a Bollywood-holic, so like he was very excited
I was like,
about
who are all
everyone.
these people that he's like calling out? I've like never heard of them before. Maybe I should know.
He's like, I don't know. Me and Bruno, we've seen some Bollywood movies together, but like not enough for him to be this excited about and know all of the Bollywood actors.
So he surprised you.
He surprised me, and I guess like from what I've learned about him, he's secretly keeping up with every single person and like is a big fan of every single Bollywood star, which is why he freaked out the way he did the entire time at the wedding. And I think he was more excited to see the Bollywood stars than John Cena. I don't think, I know, like by far. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he had the best time.
Oh my God.
And he ate so much food.
Awesome. Anything else you want to tell us about the Ambani wedding? This was a $600 million wedding.
I could talk about this for hours. Like, I don't even know what I could not say about the Ambani wedding. It was the best experience of my entire life. It was so crazy. I felt like I was in a dream, like on the flight
Are you going to go
home.
back to India anytime soon?
That I can't answer yet.
Oh, okay. We can extrapolate for ourselves. But to that note, I kind of want to switch it up and do some rapid fire jewelry questions with you.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say something and you're gonna tell me if it's in or if it's out. And feel free to elaborate if you would like.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Brooches.
In.
Lab grown diamonds.
That's not even an in or out question. They've never been in enough to say that it's now out.
So out.
Out.
Mixing metals.
I mean, in, yeah. It's easy peasy. I don't care about it. It doesn't bother me.
It's not that big. It's not that deep.
Yeah, not that deep.
Ankle bracelets.
In, but I want to be an ankle bracelet girly. I just can't be. I would find it too annoying.
Me too. I like the look of them, but they kind of are like uncomfortable.
Yeah, not the vibe for me. I need the comfort, but whoever can do it, like pop off.
Rose gold.
That one's tough for me. I want to say like halfway between in and out. I'm not such a big rose gold girly, but there are a lot of rose gold pieces that I really like. And I actually haven't seen much rose gold in the last like year or so. So
I have
maybe
a
it's
theory that people who have the middle name Rose love rose gold.
As
forever.
they should. As they should.
Toe rings.
I mean, but that is just not for me.
Agreed. I mean, it's in for someone.
It's in for Rihanna.
Yes. Big diamond toe rings.
Yes.
Gemstone engagement rings.
In.
Chunky jewelry.
I think in. Everyone always says chunky jewelry's in. I feel like it never goes out. Like
Yeah.
it's just always in.
I feel like dainty jewelry is always in, chunky jewelry is always in.
Yeah.
It kind of just like you mix and match.
Yeah, you mix and match.
And last but not least, mix and matching earrings.
I say in.
I think so too. I love it when I see it on other people, but like I cannot do it myself. I just don't think I'm cool enough.
I also love when I see it on other people. I don't have earrings that are like different enough, but with the same vibe that I could do it
and
myself.
I feel like you need to have like at least 3 holes on each side for it to like style properly.
I only have 1 hole because my ears get infected really easily, and every time.
Good thing you didn't shove those posts in there.
Yup. Oh, I tried, honestly. Like I bled a little bit, but it was fine.
What is your favorite jewelry trend right now, and your least favorite?
My favorite jewelry trend is always going to be rainbow jewelry. It's not a trend in my heart. It's like a forever thing. Today's the only day I'm not wearing my rainbow choker, but I love rainbow, so.
And what's your least favorite trend?
My least favorite jewelry trend is like dainty jewelry that stands on its own because I just like a lot. I'm a more is more kind of girl.
Yeah.
And I just don't like a by itself. It's not that I don't like it. It's that I don't feel any which way about it. It doesn't sing to my heart. Yeah, and I like when jewels sing to me, so.
That's fair. I have another game if you want to play.
I'm ready.
Okay, so I have all of these images of iconic pieces of jewelry, and you have to guess who it is. I feel like you're gonna guess properly, but
Let's see.
let's see. So we're playing Guess Who. This is the first image.
Emrata.
And what is it?
It's her divorce rings.
Yeah, what are Emrata's divorce rings?
She had a trois mois engagement ring, and when she got divorced, I don't remember which jeweler she went to, but she split the Is this a princess cut?
But like
A
she put
princess
these
cut?
like huge straps on them.
Yeah, princess cut and the pear-shaped ring. The only thing that's rude about her making 2 divorce rings is the fact that she didn't offer me either of them. Like, I could have taken one.
Amazing. Emrata's divorce ring. Next.
Okay, this is Kim Kardashian's engagement ring, and I know that really well because I modeled my own engagement ring after Kim Kardashian's engagement ring.
Did you tell her that when you saw her?
I was like going blank.
You're like, oh my god, I modeled my engagement ring after you.
And she would have been like, wow, it's so big. It's basically the same exact thing.
I knew you would get this one. So it's still one of my favorites.
Mine too. I mean, this is the iconic Tiffany diamond on Beyonce. The first Black woman ever to wear the Tiffany diamond, and she didn't wear it in public, so it didn't count. But I think there have only been like 3 people who ever wore it in public.
Who else? Lady Gaga wore it, right?
Something Whitestone back in the day. Audrey Hepburn, I think. Lady Gaga.
And
Beyonce, yeah. Megan Fox's ring, that's not exactly my favorite ring, but it do be
It has
cute.
a gemstone.
Has a gemstone. I wouldn't recommend like an emerald,
No.
especially not a pear-shaped emerald.
No, emeralds are really soft. Okay, perfect. Last but not least.
I mean, this is a little too
It's like
obvious.
a little softball.
I guess Kate Middleton's engagement ring, Princess Diana's engagement ring. Fabulous. Beautiful.
Amazing. The most popular sapphire.
Of all time.
Yeah. Okay, next time I'm going to make it harder for you.
Honestly, the divorce rings could have been.
That was
the
tricky,
one,
right?
Yeah.
But like that one's recent, so.
Yeah, it was still fresh in my head.
Awesome. So now that you have come back from this amazing trip, I think you've gained like 500,000 followers or something. Like, what is next for you in your career journey, your jewelry journey? Like, tell us a little more.
Okay, what's next for me? The scary part is that I don't know. And that's like what I'm struggling with right now because I don't know what comes next and I'm confused.
That's okay. Every year, and what I love about you is like you share like your manifestation list. I think like this year you probably already like way exceeded it. But like what's like on your manifestation list in the near future?
All right, so on my manifestation list, I've always wanted to work with these big dog jewelers. So like a Bulgari, a Cartier, a Tiffany, to do any type of content with them would obviously be like on my dream list. Also, like I can just pull it up.
Pull it up.
I've always wanted to be like featured in Vogue to some degree. It hasn't happened yet, but
It will,
the year's
like,
not over.
I mean, I think it should like any day now.
Any day now, I agree.
They need the inside scoop.
Okay, then the last few ones are Win a Gem Award, which is like, that's in February. So technically I didn't win it for this year.
Well,
But it's okay.
You need to be nominated. I think you should be nominated for what, like media?
Yeah. But also I think that they only do
Like
journalists.
Yeah, they need to come up with a new category for
Yeah.
you.
And I should be the only one in the category and win every single year.
Maybe you should just MC it.
Actually, that would be pretty cool.
Right? That's good. That's like almost better because you're on
Yeah.
stage for longer.
That's true.
You can get an
Except
honorary.
I'd actually like pee my pants the whole time.
No, you'll be great. We can make that happen.
And then I want to be on the toast, like with like Claudia Oshrin. That's like one of my dreams, but that one also hasn't happened yet. But
I
the
think
year's
all
not
of these
over.
are really doable.
Yeah, I think all of them are pretty doable too. And then the rest of them are just like in the same realm as like working with Bulgari, Tiffany, whatever. And yeah,
Amazing.
I hit, honestly, the ones that I wanted to hit, I hit.
I mean, you've done most of these things, so I think you need to add some things to your manifestation.
I think I have
list.
to add too.
Some big ones.
Yeah, I gotta, the bigger the dream I write down, like the faster I am to achieve it.
Exactly. See, the bigger the dream, the faster you are to achieve it. Where can people follow all of your amazing content?
So on Instagram, you can follow me at Julia Chafe. That's JuliaChafe, not Chafe, Chafe. On TikTok, you can follow me at Jules with Jules. That's Jules as in like Jules with Jules, not by Jules. And on YouTube, I think I'm also Jules with Jules.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. It was so amazing getting the inside scoop.
Thanks.
And yeah, tune in next time.
I'm always happy to come.
Yay. Thanks for listening. You can follow us at The Clear Cut on Instagram and TikTok or shop at theclearcut.co.